بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It's a pleasure to be back here again. I was here about summer 2014 actually. I did my first talk on Ruqyah. It was actually last year, you know. I remember some of the faces here as well, alhamdulillah. In tonight's talk, what we're going to do, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to look at Ayn and Hasd, okay, and how to recognize it, how to diagnose it, and how to treat it. Okay, that's what we want to do, and we want to sort of make it a little bit of a practical. We did some of that last time. What I'm going to add to this one probably is just show you how to try and diagnose your own family members. Okay, so we looked at last time how to do sort of self-Ruqyah. Okay, what we're going to do here, we're just going to be looking at Ayn and how to diagnose it, and look especially with children, because we find there's a lot of children with Ayn, you know. It needs to be addressed, you know. We can't just wait around for people to, other people to do Ruqyah, you know, when sometimes it's quite difficult to find Raqis and that. So sometimes it's important for us to take responsibility, especially the men in the house, you know, because you know, Raqis can't treat everybody. Although we need Raqis, there's no doubt about that, you know, we need advice from them. Okay, but I think it's important for us to take the initiative and start treating your own family members, you see. Okay, what is Ayn? Well, Ayn basically is when somebody affects someone with their own eye. Okay, so it's somebody harming someone with their own eye. And in the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ayn al-Haq, meaning Ayn is a reality. It really is true. It does happen. It's not folklore or you know, it's something which is there. It's a reality. You know, people get affected by people's eyes. And as Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah says in Zayd Ma'ad, he says, you know, it's like actually an arrow, you know, coming out of the person and hitting the victim. You know, if the person has got, you know, protection and that, then maybe when he shoots his arrow, you know, out of jealousy or out of surprise, it hits the person, and then maybe it'll come back to them, on them. You see, that's depending on the victim. You know, if he's done his adhkar, which unfortunately a lot of Muslims we don't seem to be doing. You know. I remember looking at this issue of one of my students, and I was trying to, we sort of sat down and said, how many people actually do the adhkar, you know? We would have so many problems if people actually just sat down and just wouldn't even adhkar. And the minimum, all you need really in the morning is Ayatul Kursi and the 3 Qurs, 3 times each, after Fajr prayer, you know? And that's not adhkar after the Salah, it's, you know, away from the prayer place, and you do, you know, Ayatul Kursi once, and the 3 Qurs. That's the minimum somebody should do, you know, to protect themselves, you know. So Ibn Qayyim says if they've done, the person's got their protection, and then maybe when he hit the person with the Ayn, it will just maybe bounce back off them. Okay. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in the hadith, whoever among you sees something in himself or in his own possessions, or something he likes in his own brother, then let him pray blessings for it, because the evil eye is real, al-Ayn al-Haq. So, in this hadith we know that obviously the evil eye is a real thing, it's not a joke. Yeah? And you yourself can give yourself Ayn, and this hadith is was classed Sahih by al-Albani rahimahullah, in Kalam al-Tayyib, page 243. So, you yourself can give yourself Ayn. As we've had cases, people actually giving themselves Ayn. You know, you can also affect your own possessions. You see, so if something you own, your cars and that could be affected. So you have to be careful with the Ayn. And the cure, and to stop you affecting people with your own Ayn, is actually say Barak alayk. And you see your brother, you know, looking very nice, you know, especially when Yom Eid. Oh, Barak alayk. Say Barak alayk to him, you know, and then you can compliment him if you want to, you know. We also know from the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Surah Falaq, وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to seek refuge from the one who gives the evil eye, you know, the hasid, you know. So it's important. If it's mentioned in the Quran, then we know it's very important, you see. but we must know that this ayah, subhanahu wa bihamdi, will cure the one who's the hasid, the one who's envious with you, okay, because he's a hasid. Oh, why has he got that car? Oh, why has he got that wife? I want that. I wanted that. So this is envy there, yeah. Okay, but at the same time, this person, the hasid, he's also muta'ajjib. He's surprised at you because he finds out you've got that thing. So then the hasid kicks in. So you see, there's two things there. Okay, so every person who's a hasid is also muta'ajjib as well. He has that in him. And this ayah, alhamdulillah, will clear both types of ayn. So not always necessarily that somebody's surprised at something. Could be your friends and, oh wow, Raqi, you look very nice today. Boom, gives you the evil eye. Alright? But it doesn't mean he's jealous of you. Alright? Even when yourself, you look maybe in the mirror and say, oh, this looks really nice on me. You can give yourself ayn, but you're not going to be jealous of yourself. Okay? So if you're a hasid, you are definitely a muta'ajjib as well. You're someone who's amazed at something. But it doesn't mean if you're muta'ajjib, you're surprised or amazed at something, it doesn't mean you're envious of somebody. Alright? So close family members and friends can give it to themselves, amongst them themselves, you see. So that's important, obviously. So therefore, when, with children and that, you must be aware of these things, especially our sisters and that, even brothers, we get affected by this, especially when somebody has a baby or that, and some babies are very cute, aren't they? So it's difficult sometimes. Oh, any lovely, oh, any nice, oh, and it can give you ayn like this, So we have to be careful of this, and so it's important to instill in ourselves and foster that the dua, that we have to keep saying, barak alayk, to especially children, because we found, like, from my experience, it's a lot of children, are affected by ayn, There's another hadith where Rasul says, most of those who die from my ummah, in ummati, after the decree of Allah, will die from the ayn. Okay, and Al-Albani rahimahullah said this hadith is Hasan in volume 2, page 384 in Silsila. Okay, so that just emphasizes the point that this is really important, brothers and sisters. We can't just ignore it and say, oh, ayn, it's okay, it's not for everybody. No, this is the reality. There's more ayn going around than sihr. Yeah, there is sihr, no doubt about that, and due possession of that, but we have to look, there's a lot of ayn going around. So a lot of the ummah is going to be affected by this thing, ayn. So it's not a joke. Okay, in fact, we have to take it seriously, But also at the same time, we mustn't go to extremes, like everything is ayn. There's one extreme this way. Oh, everything is ayn, look at this is ayn, the car's not opening, so it must be the ayn, isn't it? I can't get to work this morning, it must be ayn. No, everything is going to be ayn, you see? And we can't go to the other extreme. Ayn, don't worry, okay, this is not people, if you're praying, you're doing the salah, you'll be fine, you're doing one way, you won't be affected by this. No, Sahaba were affected by the ayn. As you know from the narration, when one Sahabi sees the other Sahabi having a ghusl, and he hits him with the ayn, gets surprised at how white his skin is, and he gave him ayn. And then what the Rasul got very angry with him and said, look, you're about to kill your brother, you're killing your brother, When you see something good in your brother, give him, pray for him basically, give him barakah, ask Allah to give him barakah, you see. So we have to be in the middle, not one extreme, everything is ayn, and the other extreme, nothing is ayn, there's no ayn, So we have to, Ahl Sunnah, we're in the middle, have to be in between the two extremes. So therefore, you can see how, from this hadith I just mentioned, how important it is to focus on, diagnosing and trying to treat yourself for this ayn, as if you've got it, So, and we will do that, inshallah ta'ala, we'll talk about that, inshallah ta'ala, One thing, before we get into the sort of diagnosis area, we never base diagnosis on just the symptoms. So somebody's, oh, I'm very tired, I got a headache, oh, I couldn't get up for tahajjud, oh, this happened to me, or that happened to me, I'm feeling very sick, oh, I got a cold today, oh, I got this illness, I got the illness, We won't say somebody's got ayn just because of what they say, just because of saying something. We're not going to just base the whole diagnosis on that. Oh, it's important when people say something to us, yes, we look into it. But what we're going to really base our the diagnosis on is actually when we do the ruqyah itself, That's how you make the diagnosis. It's not going to be what's happened prior to it, okay, or what happens after it. It's actually during that ruqyah, when we're attacking the ayn in the person with the ruqyah, with the Quran, and we get a reaction. Say, yes, you've got it, brother. There's ayn here. See? That's what it's based on. Okay, so we don't look too much. Although it helps us, we look at it. Oh, okay, we need to maybe do a diagnosis, but see what's going on. Maybe you've got ayn, but we're not going to base it on there entirely. You see, we only base our diagnosis on what happens during that 15 or half an hour of reading the ruqyah. That's what we base the diagnosis on. As I said maybe here in the first talk, I'm sure I must have said this, the diagnosis, the two principles in the diagnosis, okay, is number one is that reference point, right? Establishing a good reference point. And what do I mean by that? Okay. Before you actually do the ruqyah on somebody, they have to sit down, relax, and you have to get sort of a standard state. You tell them to relax. This could be yourself, or this could be your children, or your wife. You relax and you get a good standard reference point. So why do we do this? So we need to make a comparison. So we're going to compare this state you're in right now, what happens to you during the ruqyah itself. That's how you know if you've got ayn or not. And this could be when we do sihr or not. Today we're not looking at sihr or anything else. We're just going to be looking at ayn in particular. Okay? That's how we make the diagnosis. It's only going to be based on that comparison. We'll ask the person, okay, how did you feel before we did the ruqyah? Oh, it was fine, I was alright, nothing wrong with me. But just my nose was twitching me a little bit. Okay, fine, that's alright, leave that alone. No worry. Then we start the ruqyah. During the ruqyah, headache, eyes are moving around with ayn, eyes are going. And we stop and we ask, okay, what did you feel during the ruqyah? Well, you saw my eyes moving like the way we were moving. Yes, I saw that. I had a very big headache and I had severe stomachache. I said, yes, you've got ayn, brother. So it's based on there, and it's that comparison you make. That's how you know whether the person's got ayn or not. Okay? And in order to know if somebody's cured from it, well, you're not going to find a difference. So the reference point is going to be exactly the same as the ruqyah itself. No difference between them. And a person can do that for several days and then they find out, yeah, I'm cured from it, brother. It's not there. So, okay, khalas. How many times have you done that? I've done that for the last 10 days. I've been checking. Nothing. No, the reference point is exactly the same as, the Quran, it doesn't affect me. I'm not affected by the Quran anymore. Okay? So fine, then it's alright. Okay? And remember, when you're doing that ruqyah, the other thing which is very important here, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِنِيَّاتٍ. When you're doing it, what you're looking for? You're looking for ayn. So you're attacking ayn inside the person. Right? So actions are by intentions. So when you ask the person, okay, what did you read for? I was reading for ayn. Okay, class, that's what it is. Did you get a reaction with that? Yes, I got a reaction. So, then you've got ayn, brother, because you were reading to cure yourself from ayn. You were reading to see if you had ayn. Then that's what you've got. You see. So the diagnosis is that reference point, okay, and that intention. All right. These are the two important principles you need. All right, when you're doing ruqyah on yourself. Okay. And obviously, when you're doing that. Getting that reference point, you have to ignore your itchy nose at the beginning. You don't want any interference, you just ignore certain things, you know. And with regards to reading ruqyah and stuff, there's no problem. It's a good thing to try. It's supposed to have you try and do your own ruqyah and try and do it for your own family. But at the same time, you also need someone, a Raqi, to help you. It says you can phone me. I have no problem with any of you calling me, asking me. And most of the time now what I'm doing actually is not doing ruqyah on people. All I'm doing is people asking me questions. I tell them what to do. I show them some videos which I've done, practical self-ruqyah, and I tell them, do this, follow that, get back to me. When they get back to me, and I say, okay, fine, you've got ayn, brother. Alright? So that's what I'm mostly doing with people. And that's what you need to do as well. I mean, so we don't say completely goodbye to the Raqi. No. I mean, you have to use, some knowledge, so you have to have some reference point to ask them certain questions. But the main thing is that you're doing it yourself, and then when you've learned, then that's it, because it's a learning process. I had to learn. I can't just, I had to learn from somebody, and somebody taught me. So it's the same sort of thing. You'll be learning, you see. You learn how to do it. Once you learn how to do it, then you can teach other people. I did this, and this. My child has got ayn. How did you know? Because of this and because of this, you see. So it's about working together with a Raqi, not just saying completely goodbye to them. Right? But we need to work with someone to ask some questions, And in fact, it's more rewardful for me, and that's why I'm into this. I don't even need for the reward. I don't know money. I don't take money, alhamdulillah, from the people. It's more rewardful for me to just teach you about it, You know, show you how to do this. Brother, do this, you know. Because remember the hadith of the 70,000, you know. 70,000 people enter the Jannah without being in reckoning, you know, only a question. Because the one of the characteristics of these people is that they don't ask for people to do Ruqyah on them. You see, so it's not good really, it's not a good thing to ask people to read. If somebody offers it to you, then it's Sunnah to accept it. So if I offer one of you Ruqyah, then you should accept it. Because when Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam came to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said, you feel sick, and then he just read Ruqyah on him, the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't say, no, don't read on me. The hadith of 70,000, he didn't say anything like that. You know, he accepted the Ruqyah. So it's Sunnah to accept the Ruqyah. So if somebody, your friend, see you're sick and that, after you look a bit ill, let me read on him. You should accept it. You know, you should accept it. But you shouldn't go around asking for it. That's the thing. You should go around asking people for Ruqyah. Another point which is important here before we get into the diagnosis part is Ruqyah is not like taking antibiotics. You know. Some people I found, they want quick solutions. You know, brother, I've got this, I've got a problem. Okay, what's the problem? You know, I have this problem, you know, I think it's pain and this. And they diagnose me, you've got Ayn. Yeah, that's Ayn. Looks like that's Ayn, brother. Yeah, okay. But, you know, I couldn't continue to Ruqyah. I mean, I read the ayah maybe 3-4 times and I couldn't carry on anymore. Oh, I see what happened. Something was stopping me. And obviously, I know well, that's probably a jinn in there stopping him reading Ruqyah because you get jinn which can come through Ayn, you see. And I said, okay, brother, look, what's your religion like? Can you find a person who's not got much religion? Are you praying 5 times a day? Yeah, I do, but it's not on time. Sometimes a little bit late, you know. Sometimes because of work, I join them all together at midnight. So I'm doing Fajr, Maghrib, Isha, and all of them together at midnight. I said, okay, this is not going to work, you know. You can't. But you like to join the prayers, no, but don't join prayers like this, brother. You know, join prayers sometimes. Yes, we're not like all of them all fight together at midnight. It's not going to work, is it? You know. So you've got, when you talk to people, you find that they're not on the religion properly. You know, not really worshipping the Lord properly. So obviously, remember, Ruqyah is a dua. If you're not really practicing Islam properly, then how is Allah going to answer your dua? You know. So it's not like taking antibiotics. You have to really, you know, make sincere tawbah. And if any of you tonight, inshallah, after seeing what I do, want to try with your family and all that, well, make sure you are good, have a good relationship with Allah. Are you doing all the things He's told you to do? You know, all the wajib. Are you doing all of that? All the fara'id, what He's told you to do, you're doing that? You know, you keep away from the major sins? You know, we all have the ability to keep away from the major sins. It's not very difficult, brothers and sisters. You know, every Muslim has an ability to go up, you know, levels in Iman. Allah doesn't stop us getting close to Him. We must remember this. You know, I have many cases of, it's too difficult, it's very difficult, you know, worshipping. No, Allah doesn't put barriers to us, you know, to worship Him. That's what He made us for. Do you think He made you for something and then makes it difficult for you to worship Him? If you want Allah, then Allah will accept you. You can get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and become the best of the best. Alright? As I say to some of these patients I've got who, when I see that they're in a terrible state, you know, and they're not really even praying, some of them, and they want to do Ruqyah. I say, subhanAllah. Okay, this is a good sign. They want some cure. They want Allah. There's some goodness there. They want Allah. Okay, so look, brother, you want Allah. I say, yeah, I want Allah, brother. I want Allah to cure me. Okay, this is good. Are you praying? So not praying. You doing anything of the religion? No, nothing of the religion. But you want Allah? I want Allah. Okay, good. Allah wants you, inshallah. Allah doesn't like His slaves like this. Not praying or not doing ibadah. So you tell them to rectify their religion, you know, and you tell them, look, and you encourage them, look, you can be the best of the best, you know. You can get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know. And you tell them to, you know, that they have the ability to worship Allah and improve themselves. Once they improve themselves, then you say, okay, now, brother, why don't you try the diagnosis now? Because you seem to be, your deen looks to be much better now, akhi. You know, you've sorted out those problems. Now I suggest that you do Ruqyah, brother. You know, so it's important to understand that Ruqyah is not like antibiotics. Antibiotics works for the fasiq, the kafir, everybody. You know, even the Muslim, it works for everybody. Yeah, but Ruqyah is only going to be working for the people who really on their religion. You know, okay. And obviously, the other point, you know, let's not get affected by paranoia. You know, everything is Ayn. No, we don't believe that. Not everything's going to be Ayn. We need to do a diagnosis. That's the whole point of diagnosing yourself. Okay, let's look at some of the different types of Ayn you can get. So there's like I said, there's Ayn muta'ajjib. Ayn which is like a surprise. Oh, brother, that looks really nice on you. Bang, and they give you the Ayn. Okay, so that's surprise. It affects the person. Okay, all right. There's another type of Ayn muta'ajjib which not many people know about this one. unfortunately, is that when somebody doesn't actually like what they see in you. Like you might see somebody who has a very no arms, no legs, and you get with such surprise, you actually can hit them with the ayn as well. You see, so that's a possibility as well. That surprise affects people as well. Not only just about, oh, that looks beautiful, oh, that looks ugly, according to you. That could affect people as well, and we've seen in cases like this as well. A particular case like this, you know. So, with a person with a disability, yes, they can get affected by that surprise, you know. But obviously there's a way of working that out through specific ruqyah. You can work out that person was affected by that. So it's important, you know, that when we see these sort of things, to be aware, you know, that it's just not about the surprise element, there's also the surprise element which is something which you don't like, you see. The other type of ayn, like I just said before, is also hasd, you know. Obviously somebody got a car or was married, some sister you not to marry, they can give you the ayn for that as well, you see. Okay, there's a possibility of getting ayn from the jinn. Okay, some people say the narrations is weak in that, but you know, from what I know, it's correct, sahih or hasan, that you know you can get ayn from jinn. Jinn can give you ayn, you know. Alright, and obviously the most people will get affected by ayns from the humans. Okay, so we get ayn from the human as well. Okay, let's look at some of the effects of the ayn and symptoms, or what happens when these people get hit by ayn in itself. Okay, so when somebody actually hits you, the ayn has to actually hit you. Like I said to Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, it's arrows, it has to hit something. It's not going to be something which is abstract. You know, like I had one person say to me, oh, ayn is Saaed, ayn is affecting my dawah. I said, what do you mean like that? Okay, how do you mean exactly how is it affecting dawah? It's a bit abstract, you know, what do you mean? Oh, ayn is affecting my work. If you mean people are surprised at the way you're talking or something like that, and then you hit by the ayn, okay, I'll accept that one. But if you're just going to say it's something which is a bit, you know, you can't really see, you know, it has to hit something. The ayn has to hit you. It has to hit. You can hit objects, it has to hit something. It has to hit. It can't be something which is abstract, not there, tangible. You can't see it, you know, something like it has to hit something. Yeah. So people are surprised about. So somebody, for instance, is doing a talk or giving a talk, and people get surprised at the talk, and then they hit the person with the ayn, you know, because he's got a nice voice or reading the Quran. They hit him with the ayn, they're going to hit him with the ayn, and maybe his voice will get affected. So if the person was to say to me, oh, my dawah was affected because of the ayn, in that sort of context like that, you were given a talk and they hit you like that, or do you mean like, you know, how do you mean? So you find that that person was actually saying to me, yeah, people are not coming to my talks anymore and stuff like this, and I said, well, not really, brother, you know, it's got to hit you. Ayn's actually got to hit. So if you're saying this is in ayn, that's too much. Everything's got ayn, so people are not coming to the masjid and not coming to see you, and everybody's away from you, and all this is now to do with ayn, you know. So it has to actually hit you, so the ayn has to hit. Okay, I was giving a pain, so it has to hit the person. One of the things you find that when you with ayn is that people with it, they get a lot of skin diseases. So you find maybe eczema, acne, like some sort of fungus. And the doctors, you know, they have to give you steroids and stuff like that. It doesn't go away. That's one of the signs of ayn. It doesn't mean, like I said though, it doesn't mean if you've got eczema now or acne, you've definitely got ayn. No, it's not going to be like that. You have to do the diagnosis, yeah? But it's just one of the signs we've seen in people, yeah? And also allergies. Allergies, you know, so somebody's like, you know, they find themselves itching a lot, you know, or, you know, runny nose and things like this. Some sort of allergies. Allergies, we sort of find that they have this to do with ayn. When people start doing the ruqyah, alhamdulillah, it sort of clears up, the allergies clear up. Another example of that, maybe with people's hair falling out, you know, or turning grey. You know, somebody maybe likes your hair or something, they hit you with the ayn, so it might be that hair falling out could be to do with ayn, you know, or hair turning grey could be to do with ayn, you know. So you have to be aware of that as well. Another thing you find that people who've got ayn, which people, you know, I've seen people when they've got ayn they complain about, is the tiredness. Very tired, you know. Get up for fajr, you know, in tahajjud, you know, just tiredness which is difficult. They can't explain why they are. Are you dehydrated? No, I'm not dehydrated. I've drunk enough water, you know, and they know that they've drunk enough water, you know, and is anything physically wrong with them? No. Any deficiency in vitamins? No, deficiency in vitamins, but you know. So that's one of the signs. When you see a person, you know, he's not dehydrated, he's got, you know, all it means, he eats healthy, you know, eye diseases and that, you know, so that's good. Especially when you've got these eye diseases will come out of nowhere, you know. People, you know, playing with eye disease, and so it's important to look at, you know, diagnose the person, you know, because, you know, as you see when we do the diagnosis, one of the things you look at when you're reading that intention, that specific intention, looking for Ayn on a person, you find that their eyes get affected, you know, the eyes start flicking around. Another issue with Ayn is forgetfulness, you know. So, you know, I mean the person's memory's been affected, because some people, for instance, maybe get surprised, oh, you memorized the Quran already? Boom, they might hit you with the Ayn, and then your mind gets affected, and you won't be able to memorize the Quran much, you know. Okay? So they're surprised that you memorize the Quran, so they hit something. Okay, even though we can't see, can we see memory? I can't see memory. You know, you can open somebody's head and looking. You can look at, I can't see it. If you open a person's head like that and looked in, I can't see memory. You know, but you know, the person's been hit. The Ayn will hit them. They get surprised that, oh, so you memorized the Quran like that, brother? How? Whoa! You know, 6 months. Yeah, there's some brothers who can do this. You know, so boom, they hit them with the Ayn, and you find that their memory is affected. You know, so you find that. So if you're happy with the Quran and you find that, what's going on? You know, what's going on? You find that maybe it's affected. You know, so you know it might be that you've got because of Ayn, and also you find that sometimes, you know, in school and that, you know, because we had a case, you know, people doing very well in school. One case, one brother, you know, doing very well at chemistry and that, you know, and chemistry A level, so he's predicted A. This guy's doing very well. People didn't like that. Give him Ayn, affected memory and intelligence. In fact, got affected as well. So in the end, what he was predicted to go to medical school, he didn't get to medical school. You know, he just couldn't understand it. You know, how's that? I didn't get to medical school. Then they offered me free offers and this and that. You know, what happened? That was A's. You know, A student. Next thing he knows, no A's, and now he's getting something else. You see, and C's and D's. You know, so you know that person, poor brother, was affected by the Ayn. Another point where you find with Ayn as well is impotence, you know, in men. So, you know, some people get affected by this. In fact, we had one case where a brother, subhanAllah, this was a non-Muslim getting surprised at him. So a Muslim, non-Muslim surprised at the Muslim. Oh brother, all these women, they want you. They want to marry you, they want you. Boom. Next thing you know, that poor brother, affected by Ayn. So now he feels something, you know. So he had problems, you know, with his wife and family, you see. So subhanAllah, you know. So that you can't really do anything about that, can you? Because there are some poor brothers like this, you know. All the women want to marry them. I mean, what can they do, the poor brothers, you see? So sometimes, you know, what we advise those brothers, you know, do adhkar in that, you know. Make sure you do adhkar more in the evening, you know. Keep up with this, and you'll work that out anyway. You know, when you start hearing people saying things about you and stuff, because what's going to happen? If all the women want this brother, all right, people hear, and if no Muslims saying this, what's going on here? You know, so then obviously they maybe even get jealous from other people, get jealous, the men will get jealous. What do women want him? What's happening here? You know, and then the women hitting him with Ayn as well. All right, so brothers are hitting him with hasad, you know. So they're jealous of him. Then the sisters are all, you know, surprising this brother. I want to marry him. That's very good look. He's very good looking, you know. So you know, so you can get affected, you know. So it's important to listen out for things when you hear people saying things. That's one of the ways to help you diagnose it, you know. As we had one case where, you know, people, you know, you hear it, you listen up. As you find from the hadith. Of that, what hadith with the Sahabi, you know, when the Rasul went to him and said, okay, do you suspect anybody? So it's not haram to ask questions. Did you hear anybody say something nice about you or something like this? You know, so like when that hadith, when the other Sahabi said, yeah, we heard so and so said something. Okay, then you can get his water, all right? So if you hear something, sometimes we had a case like that where somebody said something to somebody and said, okay, oh, so and so sister said something about this brother here. Oh, he's so handsome. So okay, then that maybe it's got anger. That's what it is, you see. So, you know, try to get the water there, you know. Try to get the water to wash with that water, you know. Also with infertility in sisters, you know. So the same thing with the impotency and thing, we can get it also in sisters. So maybe sisters will see sister with a lot of children, might give her a hand, oh, how come you got so many children? Or something like this, you know. Or surprised at the fact that, you know, she's very good at playing or dealing with children. You know, oh, you've got a natural knack with kids. They could give you, you know, there's a possibility, and you find that maybe the process will be affected by Ayn, you know, having children. You see. Also, another thing, the Ayn is something unusual disease which the doctors don't even know what's going on, they don't understand it, they've tried all the tests, they still don't know what's going on, you know. So, you know, and they can't explain what exactly this illness is. You know, such a strange illness, they've tried all the tests, they don't know what it is. So in the end, you know, it's important in that sort of situation, you've tried everything, modern medicine, you know, that you try to do Ruqyah and diagnosis, or maybe you've got Ayn, you know, alright? So it's just not that we should just, once the doctors have said they don't know what's going on, there's no harm in you trying to find out what, okay, doing Ruqyah, so to see, look, maybe I've got Ayn, this was actually causing this problem. And when you find that sometimes even some poor brothers and sisters, they end up with some serious illness, you know, and the doctors scan them or something like that, they find some illness, maybe even cancer or whatever, and then they go away and then they start find that they've got Ayn as well, and they start doing Ruqyah on themselves. And alhamdulillah, when they go back, the thing has disappeared or it's shrunk, you know, or it's gone away completely, you know. So it's important to, you know, not neglect Ruqyah, you know. And even sometimes some people get really sad, you know, especially when they come back from the hospital and that, and they don't have any answers from them. It's important that in that sort of situation, to try and do Ruqyah on yourself. Okay, let's look at now basically how to do the self-diagnosis for yourself. Which I've demonstrated here before, but I'll just do it again briefly here. Okay. So what you're going to do basically, when you want to diagnose yourself for Ayn, okay, you want to diagnose yourself for Ayn and see if you've got Ayn, alright? Okay. What you will do first of all, you sit in a chair, very comfortable. Sit up, okay, make sure your hands are, I'm just here to put my hands in so you can see my hands, alright? Hands will be on your knees, alright? And you relax, okay? And you get what we call trying to establish the reference point, because remember, we need to make that comparison. Because that's the only way you know that you've got it. Making that comparison. And that's the only way you know that you're cured by that, by doing that comparison, yeah? So make sure you relax and you get a perfect state like this, okay? And you yourself might have some maybe headache, alright? You might be hungry. Then these things you're going to know, that's normal, because you might be hungry, you didn't eat. Or you might be a little bit bloated or something like that. Or you might have a little itchy nose, or something like that. You might have a little cold or something like that. All of these things, take note of them. It's not unusual, it's before the Ruqyah, okay? So you just ignore those sort of things, okay? So that's your reference point, okay? Then what you do, you get some water, right? You get some water like this, right? And in the water, so your intention is to attack any Ayn on your body. Yeah? That's what your intention is, to attack any Ayn on your body. Remember, intention is really important here. We can't divert just so. If I ask you, what are you doing, brother? I say, I'm attacking any Ayn on my body, that's what I'm going to see if I've got Ayn. Okay, that's your intention then, okay, that's it. It's not, you know, unfortunately I've seen some people, when they do it, there's no intention. So what are you doing? So I don't know. I'm just looking for something, but I don't know. If you don't know what you're looking for, no, it's not like this problem. You've got treatment, that doesn't really matter. You can ask if you want to treat, but if you want to know what exactly it is, then you've got to be specific. We have to be specific and try to work out what we've got, yeah? So the intention is to look for Ayn, diagnose yourself for Ayn. So you get the water, and so that's my intention. So it will be أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. And then at the end of that, you blow into the water. Okay, there's 3 types of blowing. Just blowing as it is without no spit in there. Okay, like that. Then you could do a little bit, stick your tongue out a little bit and a little bit of saliva in there as well. Okay, and the last one is actually spit in there. So if you could do all 3, no problem. If you find that a bit difficult to, you know, before like that, they was, you know, drinking their own sort of saliva. Some people have a problem with that. No problem. Then you just blow. No problem. Just blow in there. Okay. Then once you've done that, close it and give it a shake. The reason you're going to give it a shake is that you want to, when you blew on here, so you want to move all of that around. If there's any bit of saliva, make it spread all over the place, yeah? Alright. Then what you do, you take 3 sips of this, just do that. Okay. Then you're going to take some of the water, more water. Face. Like that. Okay. Put it in the face like that. And then you relax, right? And see how you feel. Alright? You might actually start feeling something there, that might be just enough. You might feel something, okay? So you go back and you close your eyes again. Because remember when you did your reference point, when you made your reference point, you were closing your eyes already. Right? Now when you've taken that water and you close your eyes again, you might actually start feeling your eyes moving a little bit. Not so much, but just a little, right? And you might feel you feel something in your body, like heat or something, right? Okay, you might feel something. Then what you do, after you've done that, you do the Ruqyah on yourself. That's going to be exactly the same thing as you read on there, alright? So it'll be, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan. And remember the intention is to attack any sihr in the body. We're talking about sihr. We're attacking any ayn, okay? We're talking about ayn, okay? We're attacking any ayn in the body, yeah? That's what we do. So you get your reference point again and you start reading. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. And you keep repeating that last ayah for about 15 minutes. About 15 minutes, okay? What you might want to do, okay, is that you don't need to read too loudly. Okay, initially maybe it's no problem to read loudly like that. Okay, at the end maybe it's better to, you know, as if when you're reading for that's if you don't find any reactions. Okay, if you find that you might first 10-15 minutes, if you find that you're getting something straight away, the eyes are going. Because what's going to happen here usually if you've got ayn, your eyes are going to be going like this. And what you've got to do, you've got to relax. Allow the Ruqyah to affect you. Don't be too tight up, you know, I want it to affect you, I don't want it to affect you. No, I don't want to know if I've got anger, I don't want it. And you can't be like that. You're asking Allah sincerely, Ya Rabbi, if I've got it, please show me. Right case like, yeah, I've done it, brother. Okay, you didn't want to know, that's why. I know you did it, come on. You know, if you want to know, you know. So you do this on your own, nobody will watch you, you do this on your own, you ask Allah and you find out, you know. And it's not so bad if you've got anger, you know. Maybe Allah just wants to test you, you know. Because what I found actually, the best people, you know, even one of the pieces, you know, best people I've seen who do Ruqyah are actually the ones who got affected themselves, you know, who actually were affected by themselves. So maybe that's what Allah wants from you, you know, so you learn from it, you do the Ruqyah yourself, you see how it is, and you start teaching people, you see, you start teaching people. And in fact, there's more reward, not to read on people, but teach the people. Okay, let me show you, you want to do the Ruqyah, but I want you to do like this. You get more reward than the ones who are getting the money and doing Ruqyah on people. There's more reward. Allah will be more pleased with you. You see, maybe that's what Allah wants from you. Yeah, because you know the best Raqis are what I found is the ones who actually were affected themselves with everything, deep possession, sihr, and the lot. You know. Okay, so you're reading. So maybe you're reading for 15 minutes. Okay, and you didn't. So it's أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. At that sort of level, that sort of sound, level of sound, okay? And you find that nothing really happening there, okay? Right. Then if that is the case, then what you would do, you reduce it. Try to read as if you're reading when you're doing your Dhuhr and Asr prayer. So you can hear yourself, alright? Remember, you don't mind. You don't do it in your mind, you don't do it in your mind. You read it, okay? So it'll be... So you can hear yourself, and the reason you would do that because sometimes the ayn is quite slight, alright? And you don't want your mouth to cause any interference. Because you don't want to, when you read loudly, because the facial muscles are going to be really moving around. You don't want the movement of your own mouth to cause interference, you see. That's what you don't want to happen. Okay? So, let's just take it as if you've got it and you're reading loudly, okay? Right? So what would you see? Right? What you're going to see is your eyes are going to start flicking around, alright? So your eyes, you find that the eyes are just twitching. And you've got to relax here, you can't just, you know, make sure you relax, allow the Ruqyah to affect you. So you find that the eyes are going to be going. Eyes are going to be going like this, like this. You're going to feel it, and you go, what's going to happen is that, you know, that will start happening, your eyes will be flicking. The least of it is that maybe the eyes won't actually open or move, but you get this feeling of, I feel like opening my eyes. I feel like opening my eyes. That's what you get, that's the less. That's, you know, that's the minimum sort of, a feeling of actually wanting to open the eyes. The most you'll get is the movement like this, and then the worst case is where the person's doing this. So the whites of the eyes are seen. You know, the white, and that's when you look at it and say, hey, you've got pretty bad aim. That's pretty aim, you know, we're seeing that's pretty bad, you know. So that's the worst of it. And if unfortunately there is if there is a jinn with it as well, okay, it's possible, you know, we said that the jinn can go inside with the ain as well, okay, it's possible, alright. If you've got a jinn in there as well, then there'll be maybe some shaking as well. As you're doing it, it might be some shaking, okay, there might be some shaking. If there is some shaking with it, then we say, okay, you've got ain and there's looks like there's a jinn with it as well, brother, you know. Alright, so that's basically the diagnosis for Ayn, okay? Now if you want to read for on your children now, and on your family, so in your children and your family, what you would do, same thing. And your intention is, what is it, to check your child or your wife for Ayn, alright? And what you would do here, you're going to prepare the water vessel. So what are you going to do? So your intention is to look for any, see if your child or your wife has been affected by any Ayn, alright? I'm just saying wife here because sometimes even sisters might have to do for their own children, especially the single sisters, you know, who are not married, okay, have children but, you know, divorced and they have their children. They may have to read on their own children, okay, there's no man around, you know, to do that. So even the sisters have to take responsibility and do it, you know. Okay, so what you would do here, you read in here, so the intention is to look for Ayn again, so you read Surah Fatiha in here, alright, Surah Fatiha, you're going to read Ayatul Kursi, alright, once, so Fatiha once, Ayatul Kursi once, last two ayahs of Baqarah once, okay, Surah Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad once, Surah Falaq again, you read Surah Falaq and then you come right to the end of the ayah, the last one again, and you keep repeating that a few times. Make an odd number when you show you Hasid and you got Hasid, okay? Alright, that's what you should read in there. The minimum you should do, alright, if you don't know Ayatul Kursi, you don't know the last two ayahs of Baqarah, then you should just do Fatiha, okay? In fact, you could just do Ruqyah with Fatiha. That's all you really need, you know. And the real Sunnah, if you want to read the real what we have, the only really is really the Fatiha, because that is one of its names actually Ruqyah, you know. So if you don't know any other part of the Quran, you really only know Fatiha and the last two quls, that's enough, inshallah ta'ala, you know, just use Fatiha, you know. But try to learn Ayatul Kursi, yeah, and the last two ayahs of Baqarah. Why is that? Because you need to know the protection. You need to do adhkar after, you know, after your prayers and after, you know, even more in the evening. You should do the last two. You need to read Ayatul Kursi and the last two, and the last, the last three quls. You see, and you need the last two ayahs of Baqarah, okay, for more adhkar, for protection after after now Maghrib time. We can read the last two ayahs of Baqarah, okay, and that will protect us all night. You know, you can start from after Layl, and it's in the hadith is that you read whoever reads this at night at Layl, yeah. This will protect you all night, inshallah ta'ala, you know. And also if you read the last two ayahs of Baqarah, according to the hadith of al-Tirmidhi, this will keep the shayateen away from your house as well, you know, for 3 nights. So it's important to, that's why it's important to memorize. So this is the minimum you need for the Ruqyah and for the protection of your family. Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi, last two ayahs of Baqarah, Surah Ikhlas, Falaq and Nas, that's what you need. The other ayahs and that, yes, they're good if you can know them. If you don't know them, you don't worry, you know. Just focus on these things, it's enough, inshallah ta'ala. So anyway, so I'm preparing the water for my family now, okay? And I can prepare this water for my wife and my children as well. I don't have to make separate water for them, you see? I can use the same water, okay? So I'm preparing for a number of people, okay? So I'm going to read here Fatiha once, and the intention is to look for Ayn, yeah? Fatiha once, Ayatul Kursi once, last two ayahs of Baqarah, Surah Ikhlas, okay, and then Surah Falaq. I'll come down and I'll repeat that last ayah. So when we show you Hasid and the Hasid an odd number of times, alright? Then you obviously do the same thing. When you come to the end of it, you blow in there, and then don't spit in there because you're going to be giving it to people, alright? So you just blow in there, alright? And you shake it, and then you could do the same thing. You give them the water, alright? And you tell them to put it on their hands and on their face. Okay. What you're going to have to do, the extra thing is, you know, with your children, you're going to have to sit down there and get the reference point with them, so they have to talk to them. So some children say, okay, darling, how are you feeling right now before I do the Ruqyah on you? And before you drink the water. Oh, I'm feeling alright, Dad, just maybe that, stomach's hurting a little bit. What's that from? So, okay, that's from yesterday. She was maybe ill yesterday, so okay, forget that, don't worry, darling. What else are you feeling? She say, oh yeah, itchy, head's itching a little bit, okay, leave that. And you look around, it's fine, till you get some sort of thing where you both agree, you tell her, she tells you everything she's feeling, okay? Even if she's feeling scared or anything like that, because sometimes what you find, if there is jinn with them, with the ayn, some children, they do have this unfortunately, is that what they sometimes say, before you actually do the Ruqyah, your own child will get scared of you. So the child will actually say, Daddy, Dad, I'm a bit scared of you. That's your sign of it, hey, there might be something there, okay? There might be something there, because the jinn doesn't want you to do Ruqyah, right? Remember, some of these angels, they like to keep coming back to children. What I found is sometimes you get rid of them, and this when they come back again. The same jinns coming back to the same child again. Because when they go inside, they like to go in when these children are very young, and you find that they're in there for years, and they make it their home. So the child becomes in the home, and then we find some cases where the person's going in and out of mental hospital, and all it was because of Ayn, you see, unfortunately, Okay, so once you work with them and you've got the reference point and all of that, and you're happy with it, and you're happy and they're happy, then you give them the water. Give them the water to drink, and you give them the water to wipe their face and their hands, and you get them to, again, make another reference point, just like how you did for yourself, right? And you examine them and you ask them, okay, what's happening now, darling? How do you feel right now? And then they'll tell you, Dad, yeah, as soon as I took that water, I started shaking a little bit, especially at the bottom of my spine. I felt like a little shiver there. I said, okay, you note it down. And there's no need for you to tell them what's going on. Don't tell them, oh, you got jinn. No, don't say this. Okay? Especially, it's possible sometimes if the child is always dealing with jinns like this. I have some relatives, because they're dealing with the jinn so much, they don't have a problem with it. When you tell the child, sometimes obviously most kids, they don't know anything, they don't like these stories and that, so you don't need to tell them, there's no need to tell them what they got jinn and stuff like this. Let's say, no, the Quran is affecting you, darling, we have to keep reading until we get rid of it. Is that what we have to do? Yeah, we have to keep reading. It's not lying. The Quran is affecting you, okay, it should be zero, it should be no effect. So when we just to keep reading on you, darling, until it all goes away. And then like that, okay, no problem. Yeah, Quran is clear, darling. Yeah, Quran is clear, I know that one. Good. So I'm going to keep reading on you until it goes away. Okay, fine, Dad. I'll accept that. See? So there's no need to go into what they've got. You've got Ayn, you've got 2-3 jinns inside there, this and that. No need to go into that stuff with the children, All right. If you want to, you don't even have to go with your wife. Maybe you don't need to tell her that. Oh, there's a jinn there. Oh, no need to do that. Just say, okay, just keep doing it. Because sometimes maybe your wife, if you do the Ruqyah on her, maybe the arm might start shaking. Well, you don't need to tell her that it's a jinn there or something. You don't have to say that. Say, okay, don't worry. We've got Ayn. We just have to keep reading a lot, and then the Ayn will go away, inshallah ta'ala, Alright. So you've given them that. They've taken the water and they've seen the reference point. Note down if there's any changes, okay? Now you start the Ruqyah. And the Ruqyah is going to be now, with intention you're going to attack any Ayn in that body, okay? So we're focused, we know what we're doing, we're not all over the place, It's really important, this thing, because I find that many people, when they go to the Raqis and that, some Raqis, but not all of them, some, I'm talking about, when I talk like this in general, I'm going to talk about some, talking about some. Some people, when they're doing it, there's no intention, so when you see, oh, there's a reaction, yes, the Quran is doing something, and you tell, okay, what is it, brother? I don't know. They don't know. The only way you're going to know is about what was your intention at the beginning, right? Don't just read like that, you're going to get reactions. What is it? Okay, is it come through sihr, this jinn? Is it come through Ayn? What's it come through, You've got to be focused, Don't just read like that. And what way I have found is that there's some, unfortunately, if you read like that, such a general situation, I've had people who, they get confirmed, yeah, there's sihr. So when I read them, yeah, there's definitely sihr. That person who told you is definitely right. Okay, but did you check it for Ayn? He said, no, he said I ain't got Ayn. You sure? You didn't check it for Ayn? Well, he said, I haven't got Ayn. Okay, let me just check it for Ayn. So what I would do, I'll do another diagnosis, focus on the Ayn maybe for half an hour, reading on them. And what you find is they've got Ayn as well. I said, Akhi, look, you've got sihr and jinn there, but there's also Ayn there. I said, I didn't know I had Ayn. I said, that's why it's important to look. When you go, make sure you differentiate between these intentions. You just can't just read for something you don't know you've got. And the reason why you've got to know that you've got Ayn is because what we have found is if you've got sihr and all that, then Ayn blocks the sihr treatment. So we have to know this now, yeah? Okay. So when you're going to read on them, like to check if they've got Ayn, is Fatiha 7 times. Actually, before you actually start, even better. Sorry, I forgot this. You start Bismillah, okay? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Now the reason you're going to do that, alright, is that it will remind you, look, this is all by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nothing to do with you. We've got no say in this issue here. It sort of reminds you, and there's no problem with the intention, you're using that to start off your Ruqyah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, la hawla wa la quwwata. So after Bismillah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Do that for 2 to 3 minutes, you know. That's Ruqyah, but it's also there to remind you that, look, this is all up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If He doesn't help us, we're going to get no answer here, you know. Right? So after you've done la hawla wa la quwwata for about 2 to 3 minutes, then Fatiha 7 times, alright? Then you do Ayatul Kursi 7 times, okay? And then 7 times they get in from the hadith of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, where they came to him and they said, what did you do? And then, you know, they reading on the mushrik, you know, and they read it for 7 times Fatiha, yeah? So that's where you get the 7 from, okay? So the 7's from there, yeah? As Ibn Jibreel says, okay? So when you read the 7 Fatiha 7 times, Ayatul Kursi 7 times, if you know it, last 2 ayahs of Baqarah 7 times, Surah Ikhlas 7 times, you come to Surah Falaq, alright, and you come right to the last ayah, you read it, okay, and you read the last ayah for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now that should take you 22, maybe even 30 minutes, maybe, depends how fast you read, alright, so but that should be enough for any signs to manifest, alright, any signs in that child or your wife, it should be enough to manifest those signs, inshallah ta'ala, you know, that's what it should be. And like I said, for the with the self-diagnosis, you find that the eyes are going to go straight away. You know, the eyes are going to go, and sometimes they might see images. All right, they might see something pointing back at them, and if they see some sort of moving image like a snake or something like that, it means they've got Ayn and there's a jinn there, and they're with the Ayn. You see, that's a possibility. Yeah, all right. Another thing what we've seen is that that's one of the reasons it's important for the child, you know, the person to close their eyes. What they will see eyes. So if they've got bad Ayn, when they close their eyes, the eyes will be flickering, but they will also see eyes, static eyes. Static eyes in the sense they're static, but they're like floating. Because you know when the eyes got like water in it, like, you know, it sort of floats. But they're static, they're not really, I mean, in the sense that they're not blinking eyes. If the eye's blinking, then that's the eye of the jinn in there, you know. So they're blinking and moving back and moving around, and you can see sort of part of the face in that. That's a jinn inside the person. A jinn inside the person, yeah. But what I'm talking about is a black dot, a black sort of white, and a black dot inside, and it's just like naturally just sort of floating in there. It's not blinking or moving back and like that. Like that. That would be like jinn possession. What we're talking about is that floating sort of eye. That's what people see. They see these eyes all over the place. You see, that's a sign of Ayn. All right. So you look out for that sign. You know. Another sign while they're closing their eyes, they'll see something like a blob, a purple bluish blob. All right. You know, like when you're a child, you look at the sun and then you close your eyes and you see all these colours. Yeah. Look at the sun, you know. I've done that when I was a kid. Then you look at the sun and that thing. So when you see, or when bright lights and you close your eyes, you can see like a purple blob there moving around, all right, floating around. That's one of the signs of the Ayn, you know. Okay. And obviously, like I said, there's also the flickering of the eyes. You can see how the severity of the Ayn by looking at how they're moving those eyes. If you see those whites of the eyes, that, then you know that it's pretty bad Ayn, you know, pretty bad Ayn. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you laugh on it, I'm just trying to sort of show you what it looks like, you know. Okay. What you could do as well, if you're a bit down, because sometimes children, you know, sometimes it happens because the child doesn't know what's going on, they're a bit surprised at what's going on, you know, and you're still a little bit in doubt, okay, maybe there is there, maybe it's not there. Best thing to do with that is just take it as if they've got it, you know. Best thing to take it as if they've got Ayn, you know, and just treat them accordingly, yeah. What you could do to help your situation, get some of the, what you could do is, you get some, the water you prepared for them earlier, which they've drunk and everything like that. If you're unsure what it is, if they're still there or not, what you can do, you can give them the water again. And what you do, you tell them to take a little bit, and they hold it in their mouth. Just a little bit, just enough, which is in like a teaspoon, which they can hold for that time. Alright? Or if it's as an adult, the child is a little bit older, then they can hold a little bit more than that. Alright? They can hold a little bit more. Okay. The reason you're going to do that, and then on top of that, you do the Ruqyah. The reason you do that is that if you're in doubt on that, it intensifies the Ruqyah now. Alright? You're not only reading on them, they're also affected by, if there is any aim there, the water which is in their mouth, that's also attacking the aim. That's also they're attacking the aim. So they're attacking Ruqyah, alright? You're reading Ruqyah, and it's also the water there which has got Ruqyah on it, is attacking any aim there as well. So that makes it very intensive, you know. So if there's anything really there, inshallah ta'ala, it will show up, you know. One point that is important to mention here is that when you're reading on the children, if the children are below age, okay, if they are below age puberty, okay, then there's no worry about gene manifesting or something, because it's a possibility that there could be age in there. So it's important to realise that if it's the children is below puberty, 8 years old, and obviously I'm sure you know what the signs of puberty are, okay? If you don't know that, then talk to Sheikh regarding that issue, okay? Because I'm not going to go into that issue right now, alright? So once we know that the child is not hit puberty, okay, so you know, they're sinless basically. Don't worry about the gene manifesting, because they won't manifest inshallah ta'ala. You know, the gene won't manifest. So all we found from experience is that the genes only manifest because sometimes some people are worried about reading their children, because they're worried about confronting jinn. Well, don't worry, if the kid's under puberty, no jinn will manifest inshallah ta'ala. You know, and all if it is something, they need a little bit of shaking and that. That's all they'll have, okay? If the child is above puberty, and you obviously you want to read on your wife as well, before you do any reading on them, make sure you rectify their religion. Alright? Make sure they rectify their religion. So you see some issues with them, that it might be they've got aim, you know, and you want to diagnose them. Well, look at them. Are they praying? Are they doing all what they need to do with the religion? Don't just say I'm going to do Ruqyah on, you know, it might cause problems, you know? And that might actually cause a jinn manifestation, you see. Don't do this, you know. It's not good to do these things, you see. And especially if somebody doesn't want the Ruqyah as well. Yeah? Try to encourage them to do it, and then tell them it's a Sunnah to accept it. But if they don't want it, don't force them. And try to, the best situation there is that you need to rectify their religion, and you tell them, look darling, please do self-Ruqyah. You know, show them how to do self-Ruqyah, do your own Ruqyah, because this might be what you're affected by. You keep complaining for the last 5 years about, it might be to do with aim, you know. Okay, so you get them to rectify their religion, let them do their own diagnosis, right? And you put yourself out to that, inshallah ta'ala, yeah? Okay? So before you do any diagnosis to anybody, you first of all make sure, are you okay with your religion? Are you doing everything you need to do in regards to religion? You know, you're not half in it or whatever, you know? It's not, like I say, it's not like taking antibiotics, Ruqyah. Are you on your religion? Are you praying? Are you doing all what Allah wants from you? Okay? If you are doing all that, then fine, alhamdulillah. You put your trust in Allah, then read on your children, no problem. But if you're funny on your religion as well, you're not really, you know, firm in regards to certain aspects of your religion, then wait up. Rectify yourself, then do the Ruqyah on them, you know? Okay? Okay, there's another issue here in regards to, like, we found that there's a connection between the victim of Ayn, one who's given, and the Hasd. There's like some connection between them, and then, like, you know, the object of you know, admiration or which they like. So maybe somebody, you know, hits somebody with the Ayn, and then then the wife gets indirectly affected by that as well, because the wife was the thing that person wanted. So a man hits another man with the Ayn because he wants that wife, all right? And you find it all sort of related, those have got some sort of connection there, you see. And so if you want to see it, talk about, I talk a lot about that in my, I've got another video here, which is Practical Self-Ruqyah Part 2. There, if you want more information regarding that, it's on there, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. So anybody wants to look at that a bit more can refer to there, alright? That video there, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, let's look at the treatment now. Okay, once you've diagnosed them, they've got Ayn, okay, we know that it's Ayn, there's nothing else. There's no sihr, there's nothing else in there, yeah? We know that they've got Ayn, okay? Okay. And you also know that maybe, for instance, there you find that maybe there is there might be a jinn there as well with the ayn. It's a possibility. Okay. All right. So you need to have certain. Again, you need to have intentions here when you're doing the treatment. Okay. So when you read on them, you have maybe specific intentions to cure them for that ayn. All right. Now you have to make sure that the you use again Surah Fatiha 7 times, Ayatul Kursi 7 times. All right. Last 2 ayahs of Baqarah 7 times. Surah Ikhlas, okay, 7 times, and then Surah Falaq and Nas as a pair 7 times. Okay. The intention there would be to treat them for the ayn. So before you start now, the intention is different now. It's not diagnosis anymore. You're treating them. And what you're going to find is that you're not going to get so much of a reaction now. Not much of a reaction. Why is that? Because you're not asking Allah now to show you, the intention. You're asking now Allah to treat, and you find that there's a clear difference between the two. Not much manifestation, not much reactions, but because you're treating them, you're asking Allah for the treatment, and you find that there's a difference between the two. So the intention would be there, okay, that you clear all the ayn. You ask Allah to cure all of the ayn which the person is suffering from. Okay, right. If there is a jinn there, all right. Then what you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there, to Allah to cure of the jinn possession as well, okay, if there is jinn with the ayn, okay, and you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to burn any jinn inside the body as well, so not only curing, and then burn the jinn as well, okay, because curing just means Allah might remove the jinn, no matter how He wants to remove it, it might just come out, Allah might remove however Allah wants to remove, just asking Allah for cure, but you also ask Allah to burn that jinn in there as well, so you put that intention in there as well to burn the jinn, alright. And then you also ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, to cure any conditioning, some psychological condition which this jinn might have left behind. Because what we found is some people, they've got no sihr, there's no ayn, there's no jinn inside it, but they've got some sort of condition. Even after the jinn has left, the jinn has left some rubbish behind. Because you get condition from psychological condition from humans, Right. Like we find some cases when people have had a jinn and known them a long time, okay, that when the jinn leaves, they're still affected by it. They still have that mindset, there's something, the jinn has left rubbish behind in their mind, in their memories. In order to do what they have to do ruqyah for waswas to get rid of that rubbish. Okay, there's 2 types of waswas. One waswas, you just ignore it, shaitan says something to you, just ignore it. But there's another type which is a bit deeper ingrained, and when the jinn leaves, it's rubbish is still behind. Right? And even humans can do this to someone, So I've had cases where people have children are scared of spiders and things like this. You check, there's no jinns there, there's nothing there. Or maybe like we had one case where there's one unfortunate parent, because waswas comes from a jinn to one last, from man and human, right? So we had one mother, in order to stop the child doing things around the house, she would say, don't go over there, don't go over there. There's a Buddha there, like I think Buddha in Urdu means old man, right? Scared the child, so the child comes back. This person grows up still affected by Buddha. When he's Buddha, he's affected by these things. You check him, there's no jinn there, there's nothing there. But it's in his mind, so even with phobias, so sometimes there's nothing, the person has nothing, but they have these issues. What you do for them, you just do ruqyah for waswas, get rid, and I'll clear them out. It clears them out, It really works. Unfortunately, many people don't focus on this one. What happens when they check you for sihr? Nothing. They check you for jinn possession? Nothing. They check you for ayn? Nothing. But they don't check you for this one. Maybe the person has extreme waswas, ingrained. You need to check for that. See if the person's got that, That's the treatment. Instead of sending him to the psychiatrist and taking tablets, he doesn't need tablets. He needs to do a lot of ruqyah to get rid of these phobias, Spear of spiders and that, This will all go away. So we must put that in the intention as well. Alright? Okay? And then you read on the child, okay? And then you can see more of these intentions on. I wrote an article for Ruqyah support. Now you'll find this article on a video which I did on Practical Self Ruqyah 1. On there below it, you see me describing the 7 intentions for Ruqyah. And I've just described about 5 of the 4 intentions there. Also, another intention you need to do there is you read on what we call this. If there is some sort of connection between what I call the Hasad network, between the victim of the Ayn and the Hasd. You find this an object, you find there's some sort of connections there. Alright? So you make sure you put all of those intentions, all of those intentions in there. Like I said, you find the intentions, right, on that first video, Practical Self-Ruqyah Part 1. You just decide which, they're the intentions in, because obviously we're just talking about Ayn here. So if you find the person's afflicted, then you're not going to use all of those intentions to treat the person. Okay? You're only going to use certain number of those intentions. So once you have those intentions, then you just keep reading on the child as much as you can. And when you read, or as I said, Fatiha 7 times, Ayat Kursi 7 times, last 2 ayahs of Baqarah 7 times, Surah Ikhlas 7 times, and then Falaq and Nas as a pair 7 times. And you keep reading as much as you can, Maybe it's better to do a little bit in the morning with them when they get up, alright? And then in the evening as well. Before they sleep, you do more Ruqyah on them, And you train them as well. If they're able to do the Ruqyah on themselves, then you tell them, darling, read Falaq and Nas on yourself with these intentions. So read the intentions, okay? Teach them the intentions, and you read on yourself this as much as you can to clear all this problem you have. And like I said, you don't need to go into details about what exactly it is. You just say, well, clear all these things, the problem you have, and you can just sort of say, clear the things that daddy found. So they have that intention, and they've got, you saw, and you remind them that you are affected by the Quran. Okay, what we're doing, darling, we're doing Ruqyah. You're going to read Falaq and Nas to Allah to cure you from the things you've seen, that our dad has seen, in you. So do that, So they make that intention, and and that will be the intention to clear themselves of what they've got, Okay, then we'll move on to protection. Alright. What we need to do as well is make sure that our children, our wives, and ourselves, we do the morning, evening adhkar. It's really important. I can't overemphasize that. It's really important to get that done. Make sure you read morning and evening adhkar. Like I said to you earlier, many people are not doing this, unfortunately. So we need to read, and the minimum is Ayat Kursi and the 3 calls 3 times each. Alright, that's the minimum we need to do after the Asr prayer and after during the Asr time before Maghrib and Fajr time before the sun comes up. That's when we're supposed to do the morning and evening adhkar. So that will give you protection. Inshallah ta'ala, nothing will harm you. So once you've done that, and you have to put your trust in that it's going to work. Alright? So don't be worried when you go outside and somebody says, oh, your hair looks nice. Don't get too worried. I've done my adhkar. You done your adhkar, brother? Put your trust in Allah. You'll be alright. So don't worry too much about what people are saying in that. Because shaitan will come through the door and try to give you other swats. Oh, it's not working. This is what problems caused by Ayn. If you done your adhkar, you put your trust in Allah, you'll be okay. Alright. Another point is, like I think I said it earlier, when you see something which you like in somebody, even in yourself, barak alayk, must say that dua to them, which is important. Another point is, when you do the treatment, there is no harm in taking a medication, using modern medicine to do, along with even if the issue is to do with Ayn. There's no harm in going to the doctor to get some. So maybe the Ayn is causing you a headache. There's no problem going to the doctor and he prescribes you some tablets to get rid of the headache or the migraine you had, or you have stomach problems, So there's no harm in combining Ruqyah with modern medicine. Or we've had a few cases where people say that they would, as soon as they know that the problem is to do Ayn, they ignore the modern medicine. No, there's no harm in doing both things at the same time, you see. It's not hard to do this, So, especially when you've got something like this, when the Ayn is causing you itching, eczema and stuff like this, you need maybe to take some antihistamine tablets, There's no harm in taking that, and maybe some creams which the doctors can prescribe you to help you while you're getting rid of the problem. You're going for the cure, but in the meantime, there's no harm in getting some medication from the doctors. See. Okay, the last point I'd just like to say is also when you've got little children who can't do their morning evening adhkar, okay, they can't actually say what you're supposed to use that dua, which is you find in Hisn Muslim, or Eid al depending on who you've got 2 children, you have to obviously 2 children, change the Arabic for it, yeah? So just say you've got 1 child, with 1 boy, or Eid al-Kib, kalimatillahi tamma, min kulli shaytanin wa hamma, wa min kulli aynin lamma. And when you do that, you hold the head, as Shaykh al-Albani says, yeah? You hold the head of the child, alright, and you say that dua. You've got 2, then you do like this. Maybe you have several like this, you do this, okay? Like that, and then you go out with them outside maybe, okay? You read that dua, okay? And you go out with them, you know? And then maybe when you're outside and stuff like that, you might find that, you know, you find that you're worried or something like that, but there's no harm doing it again, you know? So that's what we're supposed to read for our children, you know, especially the ones who can't do the reading, who don't know Surah Al-Falaq, the babies especially, you see. The ones who can't read Falaq and Nas, or can't do the morning, evening adhkar, you know. Even if they're children who can do the morning, evening adhkar, but there's no harm as well, you do on top of that, doing that dua as well. There's no harm in that as well, you know. Now, yeah, the other point, this is the last point here really, as you can see, I've just focused really on the Ayn today. You know, if anybody else wants to look at any other issues regarding possession and, you know, all those other issues I was mentioned, then what you could do, you can go to YouTube and type in Practical Self-Ruqyah 1, Practical Self-Ruqyah 2, which you can go in there and find out more information about sihr and Ayn and all of that. And I think I did last time as well in Luton, that's all about, I did Practical Family Ruqyah. Okay, so how to treat the family for sihr and all of those sort of things as well. So that'll be on YouTube as well, inshallah ta'ala. So if you want more information, you can go on YouTube, inshallah ta'ala, as well, to get all of the information, inshallah ta'ala, on those things. So some time for some questions. So if you want any questions? Yeah.
Where I'm doing Ruqyah on myself, and things like like jinns and stuff like that, which kind of freak me out in my dream, and I end up waking up. But it happens on several occasions. I mean, should I just assume that's just, or is there more to it?
Well, I wouldn't say just go by experience. I mean, so you're actually reading Quran?
Yeah, I'm reading Quran.
What Quran? What are you reading?
I don't know the exact surahs, but it's usually Surah Ar-Rahman, few other surahs from bits and pieces of from Surah Baqarah. But yeah, it's just the surahs that I know basically from heart.
Okay, are you happy when you're in that dream? Are you happy? I mean, when you get up, is it like a nightmare for you?
Yeah. It's a nightmare. Yeah.
What I'll do, brother, maybe you should check yourself for, because we have some cases like this. Check yourself, maybe you have something, you know? So do some diagnosis. Watch my first video, Practical Self-Ruqyah 1, and just do a diagnosis on yourself to see if there's anything there, you know? Alright? Sometimes, you know, I had some cases where people actually do see things in jinns, and they're actually reading on the jinns in the dream, you know? And then, you know, but sometimes this is one particular case, they were happy, they were killing the jinns, filled with jinns, you know? They were actually reading the Ayatul Kursi on the jinns in the dream, you know? And they will get up. So the reading of the Quran will get them up, you know? And they won't see it really as a nightmare. They'll see it as it was good, they were fighting jinn, but they had some issues, you know, with jinns, you know? So it doesn't mean that you might be possessed or anything like that as well. So there are some cases where people are reading like this on time, it doesn't mean that you're possessed. So like I said before, we don't base diagnosis on what symptoms in this, alright? It's going to be based on when you do the diagnosis, yeah? So go to that first video, got Practical Self-Ruqyah 1, and you can see how to check for jinn, inshallah. Alaikum salam. Anything else? Yeah.
Regarding the kids when they are born with beautiful babies,
yeah.
The Ayn given from unknown sources, does it affect the intellect of the child? Because we came through the medical side that it's having like the symptoms of autism, other stuff like that. But sometimes the baby is very attractive, and then since the day they're born, we never know that. But comparing with the medical side, they come up with saying that the symptoms of autism. Does it anything relate to this Ayn?
It could be, I think. Again, you know, there's no doubt it could be something to do with the Ayn. There's no doubt. I think when you got something strange like that, however, it could also not mean there's no Ayn. There are some autism cases which are nothing to do with Ayn, or nothing to do with jinn possession, which I've seen. Okay? There was one case I went to, where the people thought actually this kid's got autism, and he's running around, he's doing bum, you can't stand still. Boom, jump, bum, 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 bum. So I said, is this jinn doing this? So I looked at the child, how old is he? He said he's 7 years old. Is he hit puberty? 7? The father said, no, definitely not. I looked at him and said, you gave him the water, no reaction, you look at him. I said, no, this is something wrong with him, you know? There's something wrong with him mentally. So this autism there, which is to do with, you know, so like a disease, you know? So not necessarily, although maybe initially it could come from the Ayn, you see. It could come from the Ayn initially. But I'm saying, was it jinn, this when I was checking it? No, you know, it wasn't this autism I was dealing with, it wasn't to do with jinn, you see. But could it be affected by Ayn, you know, from his childhood, you know, someone's given up? Yes, possibly. You know. Remember, Ayn can kill you, you know? And so it's a killer, you know, so, so if he can kill you, can do the worst thing, then obviously he's going to do the less than that, you see? So, you know, so yeah, it could be, actually, possibly.
It's taken from your explanation that the person who's attached to someone, like if I'm being affected by Ayn, my wife gonna get also affected. Is that, which I understood the same thing, like the mother when she was conceived, if she's been afflicted by the Ayn,
right,
the kid get affected.
Yeah, that's going to be possible. Something, especially like if what you see, if people are jealous of that woman having babies, they want that baby. You see, you find it indirectly, they're going to find something like that. We had a case like that where maybe not the baby, but it can be, you know, where the person, the Hasd looks at the man or the woman and says, oh, why are you married to so and so? Boom, and gives him the Ayn. So you do investigations and you find that the wife or the husband is indirectly affected as well. So we can't get the water from this person. Yeah? So what I suggested, look, we've got to try something here. We can't get this person not helping us, he's not going to give us the water. Me give Ayn and Hasd, I'm pushing this up. Actually, the Rasul doesn't give the water. Alright? So what we did, okay, what we can do here, and in this particular case, it was the husband is affected. So the wife doesn't like, this sister doesn't like the wife married to that brother. I want that brother. Why you got him? Ayn. So then we found that the brother's affected as well. So brother, you're affected. Alright? So what we did there, we got the water of the wife. Because what is it? You've got these arrows coming from the person, and then arrows coming from the victim hitting the husband. Alright? So what we did, we got the water from the wife. I said, wash with this. He washed with that, got relief. You see? But the wife is still affected because it's still something's coming from that person. You see? But the husband, alhamdulillah, is cut off now from this person. You know? So yes, that it does work. You know, this is a possibility.
If the source is unknown, in that case, Allah, we got to rely on Allah.
You got to rely on Allah. But what you could do if the baby's there, because if somebody's jealous of the wife, tell your wife to wash with herself. Wash her also, and wash her baby with that water. So if there is something like that coming from somebody who's jealous of the baby, you know, like that, then what you tell the wife, wash herself, and then get the baby and wash the baby with that water. And which she makes that intention, you know, she's washing herself to cure her baby from the Ayn, which is indirectly coming from baby. You know, and sisters, they can see sometimes you will see somebody looking at them. You know, you give them that eye look, you will see it. I saw it once when somebody gave me Ayn, like that. You see it, you feel it. As I said, you feel it. You know, so we need to ask you, did you feel anything? And there's no harm to say, oh, you backbiting, you doing this. No, the Nabi Sallallahu said, did you suspect anybody? When he told us how, he said, yes, we saw, and they went for the water, you know. So what you could do, maybe it will be difficult to get this water from these people because they won't give it to you. I'll give you Ayn stuff. Me? How can I give you Ayn? And then they'll give you stories and it's difficult to get people. When they've been ordered to give the water, just give the water. You know, I'm offended with some side, I want your water because I think you gave me Ayn. Okay, so yeah, take my water, no problem. Brother, it's okay. And I said, stuff. Who do you think you are? Who do you think? No, it's okay, take it. Take it, no problem, So what you do, tell your wife to wash with her wood and wash her towel in it. And inshallah, maybe you get relief, Inshallah. Any other question? So yeah.
I just have a couple of points. In regards to if you feel that there's a jinn, either on yourself or doing on someone, what's the worst that could happen? Could the jinn potentially somehow communicate or anything? And my second point is, if someone...
I'll forget back, sorry. Let me see the first part. Yeah, the worst thing which can happen, the jinn might manifest itself, start talking and stuff like this.
What do you do?
Yeah, what you've got to do, obviously, before you shouldn't have be in that situation. Why? Because you would tell them, what's your religion like? If you look at them, you ask them questions like this, alright, you see what's happening, right? They will tell you, yeah, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. You can see that they're praying and everything, but sometimes, unfortunately, what we find is some people lie. They don't tell you the full story, so maybe outwardly they look very good. Like maybe it's a sister, all hijab, or it's a brother, beard, and they look, this 5 times in the masjid all the time, but they've got something inside their heart. They may be blaming Allah that I've not had a baby. Allah's helping all these other people who have baby, even the Catholic next door's got a baby, I haven't got no baby. So they're blaming Allah, there's something there. So you don't know this. You do the ruqyah, then the jinn comes. And it's okay, then you stop. There's no need to carry on when the jinn comes up. What you do, you just hold, wait. Obviously got to restrain them. No, you need to hold hard a little, wait, and let the jinn, let it go back, and you keep calling the person. If it's Fatima or someone, or Abdullah, keep calling their name, and then they will come back. They will come back. Usually they come back, And then when that happens, you tell them, look, there's an issue here, brother, sister. The jinn is talking. If the jinn is talking, there's some issues with Iman. What is it? You don't have to tell us. Make tawbah and rectify yourself. Because jinn, they never take over somebody. If you're a pious Muslim, they can never take over you. Okay? The jinns can enter everybody. Pious, fasik, kafir, Muslim, mu'min, muhsin, they can go in everybody. What's the difference? In the muhsin, the strong person, Iman, you don't even know he's possessed. Maybe he's got 2 billion inside him. You won't know they're there. You see? You won't know because he's so strong in Iman. It's like, even if bliss goes inside him, you're not going to know nothing. Because there's really the planet is da'if, shaitan is da'if, can't do nothing to the mu'min. One who's weak with Allah, weak. Shaitan's weak, can't do nothing. So you think, we do ruqyah on him, they might feel something. I'm feeling something, brother. Yes, But the jinn can never take over him, never cloud his mind. He has full control. When he finds that he's got a jinn, I've got a jinn, brother. Yeah, there's a jinn there, brother. Okay, what do I have to do? You tell them, and they start doing a ruqyah, and they can do ruqyah, they can read for 3 hours. No jinn is stopping them controlling their mind or anything like that. They can, full concentration, you see. That's the mu'min. But with the fasik and somebody who's not in a kafir or somebody who's not really on the religion, the jinn will immediately come out. Sometimes if you just go through the door, jinn is there, straight away, That's the difference between it, you see. And it's not an embarrassing thing. What we need to do, admit, that if you got jinn, there's no problem. Is the jinn okay? That's your sign, brother. You got Iman, there's no problem. Don't worry about these issues, What's the other point?
So say if a non-Muslim person, non-Muslim or just a brother or sister, they compliment you on how you look,
right,
but they don't say Allah Akbar, or something like that. What do you say? I've heard you say subhanallah, but is there any dalil?
No, you don't say nothing. Make sure you do your more than enough car. That's what you got to make sure. And you know what, brother? Like it's a problem trying to get the water from some people. It's a problem trying to it's a problem trying to teach the people. Brother, next time you've done it now, but please next time when you see them, just say no about astaghfirullah. They give you problems. I just alright. So sometimes to be honest, when it happens, I don't advise them because it depends if my close friends or friends. Oh, you didn't say no, they don't get offended by it. But I've seen other people, they get offended by it. So I don't want to get into arguments with people. I don't want to headache. I've done my adhkar, I've done it. I don't want to pretend. I put my trust in Allah. That's what I do. Is that it? Was it too? Yeah.
I just want you to explain what do you mean by take the water? You mentioned that a couple of times.
Yeah, you asked them to do wudu or ghusl. And they say, that's what I mean. Sorry, brother. Sorry for not clarifying. Right. Yeah, I have a problem with this. I don't clarify something. I remember somebody said, what's happened to soda? Black seed oil, actually just reminded me, there's no harm in getting habit soda, black seed oil, and you read on it, and the water with those intake when you're treating your family, we read these things, read on them, and give it to them to drink, and wash themselves with, Okay. What was that Akhi?
I just wanted an explanation on
Yeah, so what is it? So you just ask when you take the water, they just make wudu, okay, or make ghusl for you, alright? And then you take that water and you wash yourself with it, basically. So you gather that, so they've made it with you. The best thing what I've seen done is you put a plug inside the bathtub, and the person goes in there and then just put, as if they're having ghusl for Jummah praying, and they collect all that water. Once they come out, then they collect this water and they give it to you. Or it's something from your family, or maybe some sisters, or they maybe do that water like that, collect it like that in the bathtub, and then they put their child inside that, or or the person could go inside, if it's a husband or whatever, can go inside that water.
This is for a child.
Not even for adults, probably, even for adults, collecting the water. So the person who's the ones who's given the ayn, we get their water. We ask for their water. Please give me your ghusl water, and you get their water, and you're gonna wash with it. You're gonna
full ghusl.
Yeah, you're going to, when you take that water, you pour it over your stand, pour it all over your back, and then you put yourself in the bathtub. You can add extra water in there and lie in there with the water. You lie in there with the water which they've given you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Alright, okay.
It's the first time I've understood it now.
Alright, okay, sorry.
It wasn't very clear, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Alright, yes.
I've heard brothers talking about Ruqyah bath. Is that something you recommend as part of treatment? If so, what's the way of doing it? Because some brothers say it's good to do it because the water is red upon it, so it should go down the sink basically.
Yeah.
And some say it's okay as it will maybe perhaps kill the jinns inside. So what is actually how should be done?
Yeah, actually, you know what, I actually forgot to mention that. Also, when I mentioned the habit soda and honey that you read on it and give it to your children and that, there's also some things you can get, like what we did with some patients and that. We worked out a list which I call like the Ruqyah soup. All these there's about 15 ingredients we found which affect the jinn. Right? Okay. And I'll talk about this in the first video. You got that first course of Ruqyah. There's several things we found. Cinnamon. And what we'll do, we'll get these things and we put it in the patient's mouth. And we get reference points so they're not affected by anything. There's no other outside interference. And you just put the thing in their mouth. And there's no Ruqyah bread on it. So cinnamon. It starts shaking. And the jinn doesn't like it. You put Zamzam water in there. Just natural Zamzam water in there. Jinn starts reacting. Habit soda. And a lot of these things are from the Sunnah. You just put it in their mouth. They don't like it, So there's several things we found. You mix them all together, these things. You put them all together, mix it up, read Ruqyah on there. Okay, you put it into an electric blender, alright? And you can find all these ingredients on that first video, Practical Self-Ruqyah Part 1. You mix it in the ingredients, you take some out, and you put it into a bath. So you read Ruqyah on there, When we read Ruqyah, and then put it into the bath, maybe 2-3 tablespoons, and you have a bath in it. Alright. Now the issue with regards to you sitting there relaxed for about 15 minutes. Now the issue with regards to, okay, can you let it go down the bath plug? Yes, there's no problem with that. As Ibn Baz Rahimahullah says. Because it's not Quran. If I give it to you, say, can you see Quran in there? Can you read the Quran? Say, no, it's not Quran. It's water that has been treated with Quran. It's not Quran in itself. We have a definition of what Quran is. The Fuqaha, they tell you, Quran is this. So this thing you can't read, there's no Quran. It's been treated with it. So there's no harm if you're going down the sink. There's no really harm, for it going, because you can't really define. Can we say that is Quran then? This is Quran? No, it's not Quran. Then okay, then when you tell people to drink it, they drink Quran? I'm drinking Quran? Okay, when I drink it, it's in my body. I go to the toilet. Safra, what's coming out of my body is now in the toilet. Is this Quran now? It's not Quran. So it's important to get that, idea, It's not Quran, Okay, is that right, brother? Okay, yeah.
Question from sisters upstairs.
Oh, is this what upstairs? Yeah. Oh, I see. Sorry. Okay, so what was the dua to be read for when one likes something, etc., to protect a person from the evil eye? It's Allahumma barik alayk. Yeah, that's the dua you're supposed to say to someone, Allahumma barik alayk. So you like something, you say this. There's different people, I would say different variations of that, but the things you go give barakah, Allahumma barik alayk, to say that to them. Okay, now the other thing is, how do you do Ruqyah for Waswas? Can you receive therapy for the psychological problems such as anxiety and OCD? Okay, and panic attacks, isn't it really? Yeah, I mean, the Ruqyah for waswas is, this is extreme waswas. I mean, there's two types we've seen. We've seen the one which is not, say down, this is rubbish to you or something like this, crazy image in your head, you just ignore it. It's something which is more ingrained, especially when the people have been possessed for a long time, or when somebody's, made you scared of spiders. So I remember one child, there was one kid, he said, I used to play with the spiders, alright? Take the daddy long legs, take the clothes off, put it in a matchbox, put the tissue over it, and like his little baby. I used to play with these things, alright? So he used to play with these things. What happened? The father says to him, then this person gets scared of spiders. So scared of spiders now. So what happened? Then the father relates the story, saying to him, son, you're scared of the spiders because somebody, relative, made you scared of spiders. He says, really? Yes, they will tell you, don't do this, don't do this. The spider's going to get you. The spider's going to get you. Be careful. The spider's going to get you. So the kid will stop doing whatever he's doing. Some kids, they like to put, pencils and things in electric plugs and stuff like this. Sometimes some relatives, maybe they're too tired to get up the chair and stop the kid doing things. The spider's going to get you. The spider's going to get you. It's a big thing, So you get affected like this. Or also, we've also found that some people get affected like this when the person themselves, maybe the mother or father, is scared of spiders. So they're in the room, maybe sitting down, spider, the father runs out of the room. SubhanAllah, it must be something big. Daddy's running out of the room. So the child has never been scared of spiders before. So because the father's running, this must be serious. The child runs out as well. So you find that now the child has got this phobia. So you find the child scared of the spiders. I said, how did this happen? Because the father's scared of the spiders. So the father's like, affected, really affected. No, and it's not embarrassing thing. It's okay. No, everybody can be, it can happen to anybody. People shouldn't be embarrassed about this. Do Ruqyah for that. How are you going to get rid of that? You're going to take tablets for that. It's not caused by jinn. It's sometimes caused by parents doing it to the child. The psychological condition of the person. You got to do Ruqyah for waswas for that. That's what you got to do today. Don't take tablets for that one. You got to really avoid it. I remember before I knew really too much about this, I used to tell no sihr, no jinn. You got to go to the doctor to get some tablets, Then after I found about this and studied it, and that's when I went back to certain people. Akhi, I know what your problem is, let me read on you now. I read on them for waswas, and then they react and say, okay, this is your problem, do the Ruqyah for this. Then that poor brother, alhamdulillah, you see now, tablets reduced, because they have all these tablets for their psychological problems. Alhamdulillah, tablets reduced, subhanAllah. So what you have to do for that, to get rid of this, you diagnose yourself. You go to a practical self-Ruqyah 1, I told you about how to diagnose yourself for this waswas conditioning. It's deep, ingrained conditioning, You do Ruqyah for that, and then you just make the intention. I want to cure from this waswas, this thing I've got, this problem I have in my head. This problem which nobody can see, but it's there. You do Ruqyah for this, inshallah it goes away. I tell you something personally about me. I used to, I had an issue with spiders as well. So if I'm sleeping in a room and there's a spider there, I just don't like the idea. I'm going to have to pick it up, take it out of the room. I don't want the idea of me sleeping and having the spider crawling on my face. So I wouldn't like this, you see. So what I would do, get rid of the spider, and I would get rid of the spider in the room. After I started doing Ruqyah myself for this, you see, alright, okay, I found, I wasn't affected by this so much. And the last summer actually, I slept next to a big fat spider. I slept in my mum's room, she gave me her room. There was a big fat spider there. I slept next to, I looked over the bed, and there wasn't it's a big black one. Look like a big tarantula, there's certain ones which it's like a small version of a tarantula, sitting there on a big web like that. And I looked there, and I wasn't feeling too much. I actually slept there with it there all night. And I said, subhanAllah. Then afterwards I got more like, subhanAllah, alhamdulillah, that Ruqyah is working, So I didn't get rid of it. I left it. It's right next to me. Usually ones which is there. No, I don't like that. I've got to do something like that. Or let me get some tissue. I have to go get rid of it. Just put it in the bin or something like that. But now this is no problem. I didn't feel anything. So if you've got some issues like this, it really is important to do this Ruqyah for waswas. Even though we have a case where somebody doesn't like the saliva coming out, doesn't like saliva. He doesn't like, see babies with saliva, it's not coming down like this, or somebody spits, when he was making wudu or something, he doesn't feel right, He doesn't like that, looking at it, stuff like this, right? He does the Ruqyah for a while, clear that up, He said to me, he says, he went to somewhere to send something to some office, and the person took the money from him. He was sending some money to some country. So the person took the money from him. Okay, thank you. Yes, let me process this. So he's got a deal with him. The person just turns around, gets a piece of paper, like this. Okay, how can I help you? Like that. So the brother said, I was watching him Saaed, like that in front of me. But he said, I wasn't affected. So I was just saying, good, I'm going to keep doing the Ruqyah, you know. So it is really important to do that Ruqyah, which unfortunately of us we don't know about, you know. And even we hardly know about this, you know, and alhamdulillah I benefit from it, you know. So you just need to diagnose yourself for Ruqyah for Waswas, okay? And then you're going to just keep treating yourself. That's it. It's just intentions in them. Al-a'malu bin-niyyat, Surah Falaq and Nas, read them together to cure that. So keep reading as much as you can and blowing yourself, and that's it, and it will go away, inshallah ta'ala. Next question here. Okay, it says, if you intentionally never said MashaAllah because you want someone to get Ayn, will they get Ayn? That's not very good, is it? Okay. No, this is all up to Allah. It's all qadr Allah. Maybe not. You know, there are some people, as Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah says, there are people that, in fact, ulama say you have to sort of lock these people up who give people Ayn. There are some people who are known for Ayn. And actually, I've even heard that some people, they pay, like, you never pay the Saaed to do job, you pay these people to give people Ayn. Can you give Ayn to that person? Okay. And he does it, you know. So they're known for giving Ayn to people, unfortunately. So, it doesn't necessarily mean that if the person's going to give it, it's all up to Allah. All this is up to Allah. Even if the Saaed does things, you know. Like I say to a lot of people, these problems, he's going to do the sihr again, or he's going to give him more Ayn. Just trust in Allah, brother. Don't worry about these people. Forget them. Don't give them anything. They're rubbish. Don't give them. It's all up to Allah. It's all about the qadr of Allah. Allah's involved here. You know, it's just not them, you know. Because some of these Saa'eds are very arrogant. I'm going to get you, you know. They're very arrogant, some of these people, you know. Okay, what's the other thing? Please can we do a group dua as my husband and I are struggling for baby, and maybe we have heard. So I'm trying to understand this. Looking at both of them at the same time? Yeah, you can do that. So you can sit his wife and his daughter in front of him there and read it at the same time. There's no harm in doing that. You know, reading them at the same time. You know, I think that's what she's saying, but Allahu A'lam, I don't know. You know. Okay, next question. My baby's got eczema and allergy and blood in stool. Couldn't find why. Some of my relatives keep taking the baby photo on the phone. I don't like it, but could stop them. Please advise. What I would suggest you do there, because we there, like I said, people find the babies so cute, you know. There are even cases where people, you know, even non-Muslims running across the road, or you know, across the street when they see a baby, oh, he's so cute, oh, he's so lovely, isn't he? Can we put him in our magazine, please? Yeah, case like this, you know. Can you put the baby in our magazine, and this, please, let the baby in our magazine? So, you know, what do you do in this situation? Well, you reading the baby as much as you can during the day, or even keep it, or depending on what the sex of the baby or the gender of the baby, or even keep كلمات الله تامة من كل شيطان وهامة ومن كل عين لامة. And when I said you hold the baby's head, as Al-Albani rahimahullah says, and you do that dua for them, you know. And also what you should do, like I had one case, just read as much as you can on a child. Take it as if they've got it. You know why? Because it's very difficult to diagnose children, babies, especially when they're little young babies, difficult to get a reference point. How they are before, how they are afterwards, because it's just really difficult. So what I do with babies, I just take it as if they've got everything, and just read like that. Okay, I had one case where a brother phoned me, said, baby's crying at Maghrib time. Every Maghrib, baby's crying, and then what it is, I'm right for time. This is the last bit, right? Yeah. So what is it? The baby's crying at Maghrib time. So I thought maybe that's to do with the jinn. You know, jinns fly around at Maghrib time. Might be to do with jinn. You know. So I went over there, and then I just said, okay, let me see if I can diagnose this baby. So I had the baby in my arms, looked at the baby, tried to get a good reference point, tried my best with it, all my skills I can to try and get a reference point. Very difficult. I said, yeah, I can't do this. It's not working. I can't get it. Is the baby affected? Because then I read, I said, okay, did the baby show different movement? Was the baby affected by it? Was the eyes moving? Was it affected by the ruqyah? I couldn't tell. So what I just did there, I said, Bismillah, I'm just going to take it as if the baby's got everything. Because already the father said something to me, crying, always crying at Maghrib time. No time? No, Maghrib time, okay. Let's just take it as it's got everything. So I'm reading for kill the jinn, cure from any jinn possession, cure from any ayn. All the intentions I could think of, for the baby, I did that for about half an hour. They called me the next day and said, Saaed, alhamdulillah, not crying anymore, The baby's not crying anymore. So alhamdulillah, so that's what you got to do, And the other thing is, when you're doing things like this for your friends and family, you don't charge them, I think that Allah knows best, but this is my opinion. I'm not criticizing people who want to charge for this ruqyah. I find I get more help from Allah when I don't take the money. I'm not asking Allah, help me, really help this Muslim because I want to do this for your sake. If you don't take no money, I'm telling you, I've seen this in my own experience of the people who the brothers I know who don't charge money. We seem to get more results than the ones who are taking the money. So why don't you forget taking the money? Leave this alone. Don't make it like your profession. Teach people about ruqyah. You want the reward? Teach people ruqyah because there's more reward. You want reward? For the akhirah, for Allah, just teach them. You teach people the Sunnah and the Tawheed, they connect them with Allah, they start doing their own ruqyah. This is more better for you than taking the money. If you really want the reward, is that what you're doing it for? What are you doing it for? If you're doing it for this money and stuff, that's what you're going to get. Don't expect too much then in the akhirah and stuff like this maybe. Because you want it, your reward, you want the money, you got the money. That's your reward. You see, you want the money, that's it, You'll get something in akhirah, no doubt. But it's going to be less than somebody if you didn't take it. Better leave it and get maybe, what's going to happen. Because if you don't take the money, you teach them, especially if you teach people ruqyah, and they start spreading this knowledge as well, more reward for you. It's better for you. So that's what I've seen, If you don't charge, I find that the brothers I know who don't charge, there's a lot more barakah, Allah helps you more, Okay, I think we'll leave it now because, final one.
Regarding the Ruqyah, as you said, the Surah Fatiha is that enough for people, but there are other people giving the confirmation that there is a set of ayah like from Surah Baqarah, from Surah Rahman, Surah Safa, Jinn. It's all kind of continuous, even in an Android app is there as an ayah Ruqyah. So what is the best way? Is that one is recommended or this is?
No, what we're trying to do here, there's no text saying that, but what there's from experience they found that these eyes are working very well with people. If you know those eyes, then you use them. But what I try to do here is try to make things easy for the people, because what I've noticed that some Raqis, they remember this, all Raqis again I'll say, there's some people I've seen Raqis, they see it as business secrets, so they'll never teach you Ruqyah, how to do it. Why? Business secrets. So they treat it like business. They won't teach you, and they make it like a big recitation, this, long stories and like this. Oh, subhanAllah, we can never do Ruqyah. Look, I'm not having the Quran, I can't know all these things like it, so they make it very difficult, So, no, you don't have to use any of those ones. If you can use them, because it's by experience, why those Raqi put there, especially when they put these ones, use them, like especially the 102 in Baqarah, that ayah. You use this, very good for, diagnosis. If you know, do it. But if you don't know, it doesn't mean you can't do Ruqyah. Some people say, I can't do. Why can't you do Ruqyah? I can't do Ruqyah. What do you know? I only know Fatiha and Surah, I only know Fatiha and Falaq and Nas. You can do Ruqyah, brother. You can do it. Rectify your religion and all that. You can do the Ruqyah in your family and in yourself, So you don't necessarily, it's good to use those eyes, no doubt about that. But what we're saying is you don't have to use them. You see, that's the thing. You see? Okay, yeah.
Just to clarify, how many days in a row do you have to do Ruqyah on yourself to diagnose yourself, and how many times per day?
Okay, that's a very good question about that, You might take maybe 5 to 7 days maybe, just to make sure that you haven't got the fix. I'll give you my experience, what I did for was that 10 days. People checking myself for sihr and jinn, I was just checking myself for 10 days just to make sure maybe 3 times a day because I couldn't believe it. It's gone. Alhamdulillah, Ya Rabbi, it's gone. It's difficult sometimes to believe that the thing is gone, so I kept on checking myself, to diagnose myself, and I couldn't find anything. So remember, the Ruqyah is not doing anything. Not long ago, 2-3 weeks ago, there was some reaction when I was doing Ruqyah myself, I'm shaking and stuff. I do it now, it's all gone, nothing. So maybe a few days, don't just do it once. Do it for a few days, brother, maybe 3-4 days. If you can do it longer, if you're happy to do about 7 days just to make sure, then do it, inshallah ta'ala, So there's no harm in you doing it for about 7 days. You check it every day, twice, once in the morning, once in the evening, for 7 days, just to make sure that it's definitely cleared yourself from the ayn, then do that, akhi, you know. And like it's the same thing when you read on your children, just to make sure that they've gone, you see, you know, just to make sure your child is clear of it, just read it for several, maybe 7 days, no problem, you know. One more, that's the last one, yeah, because I don't want to get in trouble, you know.
It's just something, an issue which we have quite common in most societies, the issue of ta'weed, the amulets. And some of them, they use the evidence of using the Quran only and the names of Allah, and they relate back to some of the tabi'een and Sahaba who did this with children who can't recite. What's the sort of response to these people in terms of the best way to combat this issue, because it's quite widespread, and what's the reality of it really?
The reality of it is really trying to keep avoiding all of those sort of things, you know, just to make it short because we're all gone, you know, really avoid all of these things. Just put your trust in Allah. We've got something from the Sunnah. You can do dua for your child, you know. We don't need any of these things, you know. Really, you know, because you end up doing shirk with these sort of things. This is the things inside this, you know. So it's just trying to get people to understand. Look, we don't need this. Why don't you just read? You know, don't stick around sort of fighting in your car or something like that. Read Quran. Read, you know, for your protection. See, so it's just really trying to get them to understand this thing, you know, and understand that, look, really, you know, you could end up falling into shirk with this. And given the hadith, also when poured it off to someone, you know, with these things, you know, wearing these things, what's it going to do for you, you know? You know, even though there are some people argue that you can use it in certain situations, and they look, there's some hadith or that some people are doing it, you know. The best, what I've seen, the most clear evidence and the best opinion is to keep away from all of these things. We don't need them, you know. That's just a short version, brother. Sorry, you know. Okay, we'll leave it here. If anybody wants to talk, we can talk later, inshallah ta'ala. Alright. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.